quarter 4 body meeting. We're glad to have you all for our last meeting of the year. And as Demetrius said, we have a lot of information to cover. So if you have questions throughout the presentation, feel free to drop it in the chat. And we may have a few minutes left at the end of the session today to answer some of those questions. And if we don't get to everyone, you can definitely reach out to us by email, social media, and we'll be more than happy to get those questions answered for you. My name is Eva Williams, by the way, and I'm your Fort Worth Membership Chair, and I'll be guiding the presentation today along with my fellow board members, and we have special guests from Texas Capital Bank as well that will share a little bit about our partnership with them. So buckle up because we got a lot to go. So here's just a brief agenda of how the meeting will flow this evening. We'll have updates from our president, Demetrius, and then we'll move on to our committee updates just to share with you what we've been doing throughout the year and kind of what's on the horizon. And then we'll go into our Texas Capital Bank portion, and then we'll have our financial review and outlook for our chapter following that session. Excuse me, those presentations. So without further, we'll go into Demetrius with the president's update.
Thank you, Eva. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to keep my portion here pretty brief. As we've said, we have a lot to cover. Want to make sure that there is plenty of time for our strategic partners over at Texas Capital, as well as Treese, who will be covering kind of the chapter finances, and that's an important discussion for us to have. So we have had a lot of activity since our last board meeting, our last general body meeting. And one of the biggest things that happened during that period is we did have our elections. And so this current board is ending the term technically next month. And we have a new term starting in January. And we fortunately have a lot of our board members who are continuing on into some of them in the same roles, some of them moving into different positions for the next term. We will be sharing out information about the board members and their bios and stuff so that you'll see that in our social media and email communications coming soon, but elections have been completed. We do have 2 outstanding or vacant board positions available, technically 3. So those positions would be our Vice President Treasurer, Marketing Chair, and Strategy Chair. So if you are still interested in serving in a leadership position, opportunities are there for you. And you can go into the next slide, Eva. And before I go into these other updates, I do want to again say our current term is ending, and just want to applaud and thank the current board members who have been serving since we began this term, January of 22. 88% of this board was new to serving on the chapter board. And, you know, it's been a steep learning curve. It's been a lot of work. Your board members work really hard. And so want to give them all a round of applause and just really celebrate and appreciate them for the work that they've done and the work they'll continue to do. Moving on here, we at the National Conference and Career Expo this year, we won one of the national awards, and that was for the Career Channel Award. And that was really, again, for the work specifically that this chapter leadership had done, and obviously you as members participating in our events last year. The Career Channel is really focused on the professional development that we provide to our members, our strategic partnerships, and things like our corporate spotlights that we offered. And so we won an award for that, again, for the work that we did last year. And we are in great position to win more awards next year. So looking forward to that. Speaking of next year, our conference has already been announced. It will be in Washington, D.C. next year, September 17th through the 21st. The theme of the conference is Affirm. And so all year next year, we'll be talking kind of about that theme, what it means, why it's important, why it's relevant to what's going on with the organization leading up into our conference. The last update that I wanted to share here for me specifically is that we launched the Grow with Google partnership, and our membership team is going to cover the two programs that we executed so far with that. But we also in October launched the Career Certificate Scholarship Program. We have technically 6 members who are currently completing their programs, but we have upwards of 20 who have registered and they're getting started. So excited about that new partnership and the career opportunities that it will open up for our members. So that is it for me. Thank you, Eva.
And thank you, Demetrius. All righty, so we're going to jump straight into our NHQ or National Headquarters membership updates. As many of you know, there's been a lot of amazing things going on in the organization, beginning with a new CEO. His name is Mr. Henry Hicks, and he began his tenure with the National Black MBA on October 9th. And he's excited to launch new initiatives and really get to going with his vision. So look forward to more updates in the near future from him. The next, Dimitri has already touched on our conference updates for next year. Will be in Washington, D.C. So please make sure you save the date. Now this change just went into effect on November 1st, and that's going to impact individuals that have monthly memberships. So if you pay your membership on a monthly basis, that is going to change as of November 1st. Your membership had stopped, so you would need to go online and select the annual option. And for this year, they're going to give a 20% discount to kind of help with that transition. And if you have questions about that, about your membership, or just about this change, you can feel free to either reach out to myself or my co-chair, Tricia, or you can reach out to the National Membership Chair, Sierra, and her email information is listed on this last bullet down here, membership@mbaa.org. Something else to do, since we are kind of towards the end of the year, we like to encourage our members to do it at least on a quarterly basis. Go in to your membership profile, make sure all of your information is up to date, because that's how we're able to reach you with the latest updates, whether it be at a local level or a national level. So it's really important that you keep that up to date. So if you haven't done that already, please take care of that if you can before the end of this month. That'd be great. And if you notice also when you log into your membership portal, you'll see that there's a new membership marketplace for entrepreneurs. So go check that out. They're going to be putting in some new things for membership that'll help entrepreneurs specifically, but they're going to grow that here over the next year. So just keep your eyes peeled for that. Something else they have on the horizon is online community platform, text messaging, outreach, membership marketplace, which we just talked about, as well as a learning management system. So stay tuned for that. Next, in the last quarter, we had our Q3 general body meeting. So those of you that were able to join us, that was in person at Paul Quinn. I'm so happy that we were able to get to our local HBCU to support them. We had a lot of partnerships, and our Leaders of Tomorrow Chair, Daryl, is going to talk more about what other collaboration we had with Paul Quinn. But during that session, we really just talked about how you can best prepare yourself for conference. And then we heard from some very enthusiastic speakers, Marsha Speed and Tracy Banks from JP Morgan and also Thermo Fisher, about how we can pivot our careers, how we can position ourselves to be ready for that next big step at our organization. So still using some of those nuggets that they shared with us during that meeting. So it was a good session indeed. Next, we had our elections info session. So any individual or member, I should say, that was interested in applying for membership, they were able to get clarity on what the election process would be like. They get to hear from the current board members on their on their experience as a board member, and they were able to ask questions and get clarity about serving in National Black MBA. So that was also a great session that we had. I'm gonna pass it over to my amazing co-chair, Tricia, to share with you about our Grow with Google sessions.
Good evening, everyone. So we did, as Demetria stated, kick off our Grow with Google partnership, and that is where we hosted 2 virtual events. So the first one here, it was on Tuesday, August 1st. We had Brandy Watson. She's a senior HR business analyst for JP Morgan and Chase, and she brought a breadth of experience around really what leaders are looking for when it comes to promoting internal talent on their team, and maybe the things that people say when you're not in the room. So she really gave a really nice presentation about what your brand could look like, and then gave you some actionable steps to really get to where you want to be. The good thing about it is that session was recorded, and she offered a lot of nuggets that could be used for entrepreneurs as well. And then our second event, which was in that Grow with Google series, we kind of took it a step further. So we brought in Jeremy Hardiman, who is actually a very professional resume writer. He has a variety of a large book of clients who work for nonprofits, who work in the corporate space, looking to grow into an executive. And he really kind of shared some nuggets around how the landscape is really changing when it comes to landing a job, especially navigating artificial intelligence when it comes to applicant tracking systems. I shared some information around really what can help you bring your profile forward on LinkedIn. So there are pretty much like 10 steps to really get your profile over the finish line. So we shared some nuggets there, and I just want to reiterate that the session was recorded. And I'll go ahead and just drop those links in the chat as well. So the amazing bonus to this program is our partnership allowed us to actually offer scholarships for Google's Career Certificate program. So these are scholarship opportunities that are available to financial members of our chapter, and you are able to pursue any certificates available through their partnership. So it could be some on the marketing side, it can be some of the more technical certificates around analytics, also their newest certificate related to cybersecurity. So if you are still interested, there are our applications are still open. You can find that link in your newsletter. I'll drop that link in there as well. But it is a great way to really upskill yourself in what is going to probably be another challenging year for the economy. So just a great way to again upskill yourself.
All right, thank you, Tricia.
And back to Eva.
So I'll be sharing our marketing update today in the place of our marketing VP, Stephanie Brewer. So she wanted to provide a few updates in regard to our social media. We have 2,500 followers on Instagram, 3,600 on Facebook, and 5,100 on LinkedIn. For 2024, her goal is to increase our followers monthly by 1.5%. And she wants to encourage everyone to make sure that you are signed up for our biweekly newsletter and following us on all of our social media platforms. She also shared that there are several open roles. So if you or you know another member who is interested or has the skill set to fill these roles, it would be greatly appreciated to really help make our marketing team a little bit more robust and get our information out. We also have a private LinkedIn group. We're going to be growing that a lot more. So please join it and, engage in conversation about career, anything in regard to membership. Just join and get the conversation going. Now I'm going to shift it over to Jessica Hughes, our program chair, for her updates.
Thank you, Eva. So we're going to talk about the program this last quarter, ChatGPT and automation tools. We had Jay who talked about how to build effective prompts to elicit valuable responses from ChatGPT. We also partnered with Texas Capital Bank on this with Segun Yai to really touch on how artificial intelligence in the workplace impacts companies and how they're handling it from an enterprise perspective. So this is a great virtual event on October the 18th. So I don't think this one was recorded because we had a few technical issues, but learned a lot about prompting and really how companies are looking at it from an enterprise perspective. Thank you.
Jessica. All right, we're going to move over to Amber Fleet, our community relations chair.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Amber Fleet, and I'm the current community relations chair and will be the community relations chair for the next term. So just a few of our highlights from this year in total since I've been in this role. We've had 3 major community service events where we've partnered with Hunger Busters as well as the Plano Food Pantry. We had 2 big events with them. And we were able to, sorry about that, to feed almost 50,000 people combined with those 2 events. And Hunger Busters, they focus on feeding DISD school children and making sure that they have food when they go home, as well as for the weekend for those that are food insecure. We've had about 6 social events. One of our 2 big ones was the networking mixer that we held, and we had about 200 attendees that came to Sky Blue, and also our conference meetup that we had during the national conference in Philly, where we had about 30 people attend that accumulated from attendees from Dallas, Philly, New York, just all networking together. And in combination with all of these events, we've raised close to $5,000 for our goal for the chapter, which also includes our North Texas Giving Day. So our next philanthropy, our fundraiser, that we'll be having to come up will be Giving Tuesday. And you'll see marketing promotions for that in your email. It really does help that you all can donate because we can put on more events where everyone can, those free events where you enjoy good food, good drinks, and good conversation, as well as an aesthetically pleasing with the, the grass wall and neon signs. Those aren't cheap. So as the incoming community relations chair, I do have goals for next year, which is to increase our community service, as well as have about 4 to 10 social events, and raise about $15,000 for the chapter in total. This will be my first term as having it serving in full capacity for 2 years. And I'm definitely in need of more community relations members for the committee. If you are interested and have ideas as far as what type of events you want to see the chapter put on, or you have organizations or partnership ideas, that would be great. Please attend. We'll be having a virtual meeting on December 14th to plan events for Q1 and Q2. And one of the big highlights that we're really trying to gain is having a networking mixer with the Dallas Mavericks for African American Heritage Night. That's one of the things that we are planning for. We've been in talks with them. So looking forward to having a great 2024, and come join community relations.
Thank you, Amber. We're going to pass it to Daryl Atwaters, who is our Leaders of Tomorrow chair.
Eva, I don't think he's on the call.
Tyrone will be stepping in. Tyrone or Lee. For Daryl had another Leaders of Tomorrow meeting.
Sure, if Tyrone, if you're not on the call, then I can go ahead and jump in. Sure. So is this the only
I think Tyrone is
that he
on.
had to? Okay.
Yeah, so for Leaders of Tomorrow, that's led by Daryl Atwaters. He couldn't be present today, but essentially, in the year in review, our Leaders of Tomorrow program service individuals across the Metroplex, grades 9 through 12, really to provide them with skills from varying from leadership development to other soft skills, developing as youth, and preparing for just college or other attributes of from soft skills as high schoolers. In the year of review, this program kicks off August through May of the year. We just had our initial kickoff back in September. Most recently, they took part in the YES Summit that was at University of Texas at Arlington. In addition to, we're also looking at expanding our partnership in the Tarrant County area at Texas Christian University. This year, we have approximately about 50 students in the program. So if you all know any 9th through 12th graders at any point given to interested in joining at any point, feel free to reach out to our Leaders of Tomorrow Director Daryl Atwaters, and we're happy to review them as the program progresses. Great program for just youth development, as well as just being able to network with other youth that's in their age group that's across the DFW Metroplex. Far as upcoming things that Leaders of Tomorrow did this year, as well as on the horizon, November 18th, we'll be hosting a career expo at Southern Methodist University, as well as attended the most recent Rangers game back in August. This was a great team building activity for the students to get out and just kind of have a social outing, but we also do different team building activities throughout the year where we bring different leaders as well to speak to the students just on career development opportunities, as well as careers as they're thinking about their future, whether it's college or post-secondary attributes as they think beyond high school graduation.
Okay, thank you, Tyrone. I appreciate you stepping in for Daryl. And one thing I know Daryl wanted us to highlight for our male members, he is looking for mentors to join LOT to help with that aspect. So if you are interested, and again, if you know anyone else that would be a great fit for that, please have them to reach out to Daryl, our lot chair. Next up, we have Dr. Lee to provide updates for student affairs.
Thanks, Eva. Good evening, everyone. Just want to thank everyone for their time and joining this call tonight. So let's get into what student affairs is all about, kind of what we've done this year. Currently, we are sitting at 5 committee members, definitely looking to increase that, but I definitely want to shout out the team publicly for all the hard work and dedication that you guys have put into student affairs over the last couple of years. So we've been able to accomplish some great things. We're looking forward to what else comes out of that space. We're also responsible for the annual scholarship that we have that we run from April to roughly June or July each year. I know this year for some of the recipients, we wasn't able to get those funds out in an adequate amount of time, but we put the necessary controls in place to make sure moving forward that those scholarship funds for the winners will be sent out in an adequate amount of time. So again, the scholarship runs opens from April to roughly about the end of May. Then we go through a due diligence of grading and back and forth with leadership on the team. to get those funds out. As you can see there, we were awarded almost 19,000 this year. So hopefully that 18,800 we see on the screen increases to 20,000 or more moving forward. So just looking for continuous ways to find funds to put back into the community and invest in the next generation. So I'm happy to say that myself and Amber being a community relations chair, as well as Daryl being of a lot, we attended the conference in Philadelphia. If you missed it, some great things that you guys missed out on, some good classes about leadership development. There was some fun down there at the expo as well. So if you didn't make the conference this year, hope you guys will meet us in DC. Would love to have you guys. Also, I am currently the student affairs chair, but I want to publicly thank everyone for your votes for voting me in for vice president of administration for 2024-2025. I'm definitely looking forward to working with Amber and Daryl, as well as Tyrone, right, as he continues to be on our LOC team and work with the high school students. So thank you guys for that. But the incoming chair, starting in January, will be Tyler Goodrich. Tyler recently graduated from the University of Florida with an MBA in global supplier management. So she's all over the place with it, right? And working cross-cultural with different folks to deliver and drive those results. Currently, she's working at Lockheed Martin right now, and she's been on a student affairs committee member for about 2 years now. So excited to bring you on, Tyler, and thank you for everything that you've done for the team as well, and looking forward to helping you execute your vision over the next couple of years. So thank you. Back to you, Eva.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Now we have our strategic partners. We have Jodessa and Sierras on the line. I'm not sure who's going to present today, but it's on you.
Hi, thank you so much, Eva. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sierras. I also go by CC as well. As Eva mentioned, I am one of the strategic partners co-chairs, and I work alongside Jodessa. So this first slide here just exemplifies some of our collective achievements and vibrant networks that we've built with some of our strategic partners, from just engaging panel discussions to enriching networking events. Go ahead and slide over to the next slide for me. Okay, so I just want to highlight 2 of the corporate spotlight events that we held this year. Our first event was held in July with Goldman Sachs, and it was Get to Know Goldman Sachs. It was held downtown at their office. And then our second event for the year was Get to Know Texas Capital. And I am going to speed this on over because we actually have Texas Capital here on the line. And so this slide here is highlighting who we have visiting us on this call from Texas Capital. Justin, if you are on and ready to go, you can go ahead and take it over. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much, CC, Jodessa, and the National Black MBA team. My name is Justin Carter. I serve as VP of HR and DEI team lead here at Texas Capital. This evening, I am joined by some of my esteemed colleagues who really represent a variety of functions within the business. I know we have a short amount of time today, but I really wanted to, so I'm actually going to forego the presentation and really carve off some time to talk a little bit about Texas Capital. I would love to share, for some of my colleagues to share their stories, a little bit about their experience at Texas Capital, and then also field any questions that you all may have about a career in banking. If you're looking to transition, we're here to be open books and ultimately talk a little bit about why we believe Texas Capital would be a great place for you to think about your next career. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce my my colleagues as they are on the screen. Actually, I'll just do it this way. So as I say your name, if you can come off mute and just tell the team a little bit about yourself, how long you've been with Texas Capital, that'd be great. And Ashley, we'll start with you.
Great, thank you. My name is Ashley Lakey, and I am the program manager for the Early Career Development Program, which includes our STAR program and our internship and our newly added program, the MBA program that we've started for 2024 and recruiting for actively now. I've been with Texas Capital Bank since March of this year and just completed the first internship and about to complete the STARS program, ending the graduations tomorrow. So we're very excited about the results that we got this year and looking forward to planning curriculum and the program for 2024 cohort.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashley. Vicky.
Hello, everyone. I'm Vicki Butler, Managing Director for Mortgage Finance Group Management. What does that mean? Basically, we are the ones who provide funding all over the United States for thousands and thousands of homeowners, the affordability opportunities for that. Our clients are actually the mortgage companies themselves. I've been with Texas Capital Bank a little over 13 years. I've been in the industry, either banking or some form of kind of mortgage or banking for over 32 years. Again, I have a team of about 32 staff that handle all the funding, all the collateral, everything that happens from basically beginning to end in terms of the mortgage industry with our fundings, as well as the paying off that mortgage on our line. It's a little different than a servicing type company, just as an FYI. This is really where we truly are funding the money for the actual mortgage company directly to the closing agent or a third-party originated type loan. What I appreciate about Texas Capital Bank is the fact that in this industry, and we can just kind of be real, you don't only find people in this kind of market that looks like us, Justin. All right. So to be able to be a part of Texas Capital in this role for over 13 years is remarkable. We get a chance to be under the wings and also to bring others under our wings to be able to grow. So I'm looking forward to other opportunities to talk with you guys again.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Vicki. Last but not least, Emeka.
Hi, guys. I'm Emeka Ndukwe. I'm the Executive Director, Head of Business Transformation at Texas Capital. So what does that mean? Effectively, I help drive and execute against the firm's strategic transformation agenda. And so that could be enterprise projects, that could be line of business projects, that could be strategic decisioning, M&A. The best way to think about it is I've created a team of about 5 people within the bank that are internal consultants, and we effectively work on the projects that the CEO and CFO find are high priority and are the things that we got to get done this year. So that role kind of was created out of another role that I had at the bank as a consultant. They were my client for about 2 years when I worked for a firm called FTI. And the project that I was working on for the firm at the time was the stand-up of the investment bank. And Vicki, you might be familiar with that. But that was really my introduction to the firm. And what I realized after we completed that project and stood up the investment bank in May of 22, that was effectively an audition for the firm. And so Rob, our CFO, and Matt, our CFO, wanted me to come and continue what I was doing to help drive some of our more strategic agenda initiatives from now until 2025. And that's where I find myself doing. I love working for the firm. To Vicki's point, you don't see a lot of us working at the firm, but the ones that you do see, like Vicki, are excellent. You know, Vicki is a legend at the bank. She's highly regarded, and I'm working to build a legacy similar to that. And so, yeah, I'm happy to answer and engage with you guys today.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Emeka. So you kind of touched a little bit on this transformation journey that the bank and the firm is under. 2025, we have some audacious goals. I'm very curious to kind of hear from each of you, as you all are all in different lines of business. What excites you about working for Texas Capital, and if you're talking to prospective future colleagues, what's special? And Vicki, you can go first.
I think for me, what's very special is to be able to be in a position where not only are we doing the day-to-day work, we're also developing our staff members for leadership. Everyone can be a leader. Everybody should be a leader. You don't have to have a title. But what I really appreciate is that this bank allowed me to come up with a program that I've been exposed to for many years and just be able to train it. So I do leadership training classes with my group. It doesn't matter if they have direct reports. It doesn't matter if they've ever been in management. Everyone needs to have an idea of what it's like and to understand this is something you might want to be able to do later on. But it also gives them a bigger picture and it opens up the door for better communication on how to communicate, how to deal with conflict. We deal with anything from situational leadership to conflict management to leadership compass and delegating for success. We go through a lot. We do a 3-month program. And we meet every Thursday for like 2.5 hours. So you have to have buy-in from other departments to support you while your group is in actually this particular meeting. And what's really helped, I've been doing this for over 7 years with Texas Capital. I've been here 13. And when I did the proposal, they jumped right on it. So what that does is we're doing our day-to-day, it gives us as an opportunity to know me as a person, forget the title. I want you to hear what I go through. I want them to understand what I have to, what decisions and why I make certain decisions. And it gives a broader picture and understanding. And I'll tell you, we have a diverse group of our staff. And I'm really appreciative of the bank. Again, let's get the best person for the position and allowing us to do what we need to do and with the wiggle room to get it done. What I really appreciate about our team is we have a motto, and that is forget who's right and just do what's right. We're all going to make some mistakes, but what do we learn from them and how do we grow? And then I'm really engaging them in different activities. And I'm so excited about hearing about this particular organization. Some of you may have heard of NAMBA. So our group has been supporting them in the past, was National Association for Minority Bankers, NBA as well. But I look for opportunities for our group to go outside those walls and find ways to get into community networking and opportunities to bring that information back to our team. So that's what excites me most, is that we work together truly kneecap to kneecap. They're willing to do whatever it takes to get the job done, but we also respect people's time and energy. I tell people there's got to be a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Which one is it? In other words, we need to work on a project. It needs to be for a reason. It needs to be for a season with an end date, but it cannot be a lifetime that we're working crazy hours. So I modeled that and I explained to them, this is what we do and this is how we grow. So those are the things I'm excited about, because I truly can say I work with a team. We are a team and we'll go above and beyond for each other. And they know that.
No, that's great. Thank you, Vicki. Ashley.
Yes. So what's special about TCB for me is I am the first stop from college to career. So I get to see people come in their junior year and really develop who they are, who they think they want to be, and then really figure out the mix in between two to figure out where they're going, because they don't really know. I think they know, and I think a lot of college kids think they know what they want to do, but then they get in, they're like, oh, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. And so I'm able to give a transparent view of what potentially they could get into, understanding that banking is not just a teller and someone that sits in an office to open an account. It's much more than that. And so I think that makes it very special for me, because I get to see them come in one way, potentially offer them a full-time position to come back next year as a STARS analyst, spend time with them for 16 weeks, and then see them leave the program completely different way with a completely different mindset. It's almost like watching someone go, from the caterpillar to the butterfly and let them go into the line of business. So that's something that's really special for me. And I think the most exciting thing at Texas Capital is that they gave me the ability to come in and build an 8-week program and then a 16-week program in 3 months, and said, hey, we're going to trust that, you're going to lean on the business, ask the right questions, be consultative, and really let us know, based on the new generation, what do they need to know to be successful? What's the definition of done? And build a program based on that. And so I was really excited. I was nervous, obviously, but I was very excited to get in there and ask the tough questions and even play the bad guy sometimes. And the great thing was, you know, it was very exciting to see doing the interview process this year when people turned on their video and they saw my face and you know, you get that sigh of relief when you see someone that looks like you on the other side of the computer. And it was very special to me to let them know, you know, you have an opportunity, you have a chance. And I think that was something that I've never got to feel before doing an interview process. That sometimes in banking, because there's not a lot of people that look like you, when you get on the call or you come in person, you feel like you have to put on an act or be something or fit into a box. And I felt there was a lot of shoulder, you know, let their shoulder down and kind of were able to be themselves and feel like they didn't have to put on, they could just be themselves. And that was enough because they actually were qualified in some cases, way more qualified. And they didn't feel like they, at that point, didn't have a chance. So that was something that was really special and exciting for me this recruitment season, is letting them see me and letting them know that we are accepting, we're diverse, we want to continue being diverse, and really bring in some talent and some in a generation we haven't seen before. So
yeah. So I know we have we're running short on time. So Mecca, they have to ring check what you're excited about. But to the leadership team, I want to say thank you all so much for allowing us to come and share a little bit of our story and experience. And in the chat, I will drop each of our LinkedIn's as well as a link to our careers page. And, you know, more than anything, we want you to know that we are Open Books, Texas Capital. Our goal is to be a flagship financial services institution headquartered right here in Dallas, Texas. Offices all over the state. But, you know, we're doing some really great things, and happy to be partnering with the National Black MBA. So CC, back over to you.
Yes, thank you so much, Justin. And thank you so much, rest of the team as well. You all dropped some wonderful nuggets. So for the sake of time, I will turn it back over to Eva.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Texas Capital Bank, Justin, Ashley, Vicky, Mecca. I look forward to hearing more from you all in this partnership. I was already, you had me hooked just listening to your story. So thank you for sharing. We're going to move on to our, oh, well, did you want to share this, or CC or Jodessa?
You can move on. Sorry.
Okay, so we're going to move on to our financial review and overlook by our current treasurer, Lakeitris Jones. She is going to talk about what we can look forward to, where we are, and what we can look forward to in the future. So passing it over to you, Treese.
Thank you kindly. Okay. Okay, everybody, we're going to hit the high points on a couple of things here. First things first, let's just kind of go over what we're going to talk about today. Don't wait to the end to ask your questions. Feel free to ask your questions during the presentation. Come off of mute. Don't drop them in the chat because I can't see it, because I have my stuff on presentation mode and I'm working off of 3 screens. So just hop on in, ask your question whenever I'm going through. Please feel free. I'm going to quickly give you guys a quick snapshot about me, and I do mean quick. I'm going to talk to you guys about how the money that we bring in impacts the chapter. I'm going to talk to you guys about the expenses that we go through running the chapter, how we are compliant, mitigating risk in the future, and then just kind of things that we can do together as a chapter, as one, and people that are potentially wanting to become a member to help us continue to move forward with some of the risks that we'll address here shortly. First things first, my name is Lakeitris. I go by Treese. Born and raised here in Dallas, finished at UTA, currently work for Pepsi. Been doing this 10 years, nonprofits for 5. I like to dance, sleep, and read. Okay, hopping right in. So one of the things I will tell y'all in terms of how we bring in money, we have seen a shift from my time. I said 5 years I've been serving with nonprofits and financials. With this particular organization, I've been serving with Brandy served with Brandy since I think 2019. firsthand shift or understanding of our financials before I joined as the VP treasurer. So to break down what y'all are looking at, this is a compilation of our percentage of how we bring in money. So the one on the left was 2021. You will see our biggest bucket of money that we brought in was from corporate partnerships, 59%. As we go into this year, 2023, and this is year to date, we are seeing that shift to membership rebates. What does that mean? Essentially, we are seeing a shift in how we bring in money from a revenue, quote unquote, because we're a nonprofit, right? So we're seeing the money shift on how we bring in the money. And so where I argue like corporate partnerships are great, membership rebates are all great. What we want with a diversified way that we bring in money is a little bit more equity between these two, between these years. So over the course of 3 years, we have really just seen a shift on how we bring in money as a chapter. So just wanted to point that out visually as we continue to go on. Now, how we spend money. Our biggest buckets of how we spend money is in programming, scholarships. Dr. Lee hit on that a little bit. And also our Leaders of Tomorrow programming, which Dr. Tyrone Smith talked a little bit about our Leaders of Tomorrow before Daryl was able to hop on. And so that's where most of our money goes into those major buckets. In terms of like how we spend money for us, we are all 100% volunteer based. We are here because we want to be here, like, right? Nobody's getting paid to be here. And so that allows for all of the money that we bring in that y'all pay to be part of the organization to get poured right back into programming, right back into the city of Dallas, right back into students, scholarships, into the Leaders of Tomorrow programming. Everything that y'all are putting into the organization, we are putting right back into the city of Dallas and Fort Worth. And so I think that that's intentional. I think that's the way that things should be. And I think that this honestly is a really good percentage breakdown. We want most of our money to go into programming, right? So because you guys are members here and we are the ones that are contributing to the ways that we would like to see. I argue if y'all are members and y'all would like to see us doing anything different with areas of Dallas that you think, oh, from a programming standpoint, we'd like to see this, please let us know. And I would love to give y'all data and feedback on those things as well. Going a little bit deeper into our expenses. So when we put on programming, I guess the one of the ones that I think that Amber hit on earlier was our networking mixer. Like we have to pay those venues and we have to pay for whatever those things that are associated with it, or what coming up for our end of year gala. So those things, like those are things that we pay ahead of time from a programming standpoint and from a Leaders of Tomorrow standpoint. We don't want those students to have to worry about those expenses. We want them to come in and get the programming and worry about getting the education. That's it. And from y'all, we want y'all to come in and come in, pay if you're a non-member, right? Or if you're a member, come in and experience the program and enjoy whatever we're putting on from that speaker standpoint or whatever. But all of those things cost us as an organization. So that's what we're spending our money on. Over the course of the time that I've been serving, we have seen expenses range anywhere from $70,000 to $90,000 for us to spend to run this organization. The reason I'm so transparent about that is because I think sometimes people don't realize how much it can cost to run an organization. Well, to be honest, that's about how much it costs. Now, I will tell y'all what we saw with the pandemic is we did see a dip, and with the introduction of things being online, we saw some of our expenses go a little bit lower than what the average scale of trends were. But I will tell you, as things ramp up and inflation is real, we are seeing the impact. Nonprofit or not, we are still a business. And so we are feeling the impacts that y'all may see on your side as well, as y'all are spenders as well. And I'm pretty sure y'all are feeling the impacts like us are on our end as well. So with that being said, this is what we are spending our money on and how much it can cost us to run this organization over the course of an annual spend, anywhere from 70 to 90. Like I said, a little bit of a dip from a pandemic standpoint, but we're seeing those things gear back up. Okay, so how we bring in money outside of your membership rebates and those corporate partnerships that I touched on a second ago. So we sell things now through the swag shop that is available online. We have third-party shopping. So if you guys are shopping through Amazon or I think Kroger is who we partner with now. All right, Demetrius, I believe. There's literally a little check down. You can say, oh, do you want to partner with a nonprofit? We'll match your stuff. Da, 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 da. If you guys will go in and make National Black the person of your choice, those dollars do come back and they'll hit us. Also with your organizations and your businesses at work, If y'all oh, it's we're donating and we do a match for match. When y'all do that, we get the money. Somebody from Verizon donated and I had to go in and fill out some paperwork and prove that we were a real organization, and the funds come in and they hit. So those are the way things outside of your straight donations or things that you do from a matching program, that's how we're getting those things that come in specifically. Also, if we're doing fundraising specifically earmarked for scholarships or for what's the other one? Leaders of Tomorrow. Anything that we put on the specifically earmarked for those programs, we make sure that the funding goes directly to those specific parts of the business. All right, 6 minutes left. Moving quickly. Any questions? All right, great. Okay. Internal audits and why we do them. Y'all, so part of being a nonprofit is we do have to keep things compliant in order to keep our nonprofit status with the Texas Comptroller and the IRS. And so we have internal audits, like we're not being audited the same way like businesses are. As long as we are keeping things copacetic, we hope nothing is sparked if we're filing our taxes and things on time. Nothing is setting anything off to be audited. And I will tell y'all, we do a good job. It's funny that Willie is here because of this next slide. So in order to ensure that we are still compliant with these things, there's 3 financial strategies. I stole this off of ABBA's thing, and I used it in a presentation earlier this year. So it's funny that they're here today. We as an organization, y'all, we are very rigorous in how we keep up with our financial guidelines. A lot of times y'all may not know like all that we do behind the scenes. And so we're putting together monthly, we're reviewing our monthly statements of how much is coming in, how much is going out, or reconciling those against the bank statements. We, at the beginning of the year, have an approved budget that we're filing from. The one that's in this top corner is the financial guidelines that's going through the approval process through the vice president and the executive board. And then this bottom corner here is just us keeping up with our actual spend compared to that budget that we put together at the beginning part of the year. So we are really following these 3 financial strategies in order to be compliant as a nonprofit business to ensure that we don't lose our status of nonprofit to continue forward in that future outlook. I see questions in the chat, but I can't read them. So Eva, will you let me know if any of those are for me?
Yeah, Willie is just saying, feel free to use this. We're cousin organizations. Thank you, Willie.
Wonderful. Thanks, Willie. Okay. This is just kind of the things. Oh, also, here's our EIN number if y'all need it. Stephanie and I are in talks about how we can put this on the website. If ever your company needs to know and you need to register National Black through your business where you work, I can get all of this information so it's easily accessible. Okay, diversifying our income strategy and mitigating risk. Some of the things that we just talked about, like how we mitigate risk from financial guidelines. We talk about like how we do those things as a board and how you guys are partners with us. We make sure that we have separations of duties, and Demetrius and we have checks and balances on who's on our bank account, and making sure that no one person like me as the financial person, I can't approve my own money that comes out of the bank. Like Demetrius has to approve it for me, and vice versa with him, and same with the rest of the executive board. Everybody else has to have checks and balances on how the money comes in and goes out. So it's just important that we do that to mitigate risk and keep ourselves honest as a board as well, and not have fraud within our organization. It's very important to me with a finance and accounting background. Also, we conduct those internal audits. Y'all saw that we had passed our last biannual audit just a second ago with those last ones that were on there. And then also from the left, diversifying our income. We talked about the income or the fundraising strategies before, programming before, and then also some things I think we could do some better of. It's better of raffles, silent auctions, and more programming specifically earmarked for Leaders of Tomorrow and the scholarships. Whew, baby, I'm running through this fast. Okay, here we go. Last but not least, our future financial outlook. I think that there's making sure that our financial outlook over the next course of 3 to 5 years should be aligned with our incoming and current president, Demetrius, as he has a vision for Dallas, making sure that whatever finance is doing is aligned to whatever that is. And then also from the national level, we are a chapter of the national level. So making sure even your financial strategic approach aligns to whatever that looks like. And then to just hit on some things that happened this year with the Supreme Court decision and some of the things that we are seeing that we've talked about as an organization with the change that we've seen. So shout out to our partners that are on the call to Texas Capital, people that are saying, hey, We're not studying things that are happening from the Supreme Court decision, specifically was meant for schools, but we are seeing the impact in businesses. We are seeing the reduction in DEI funding, and that is impacting our chapter. Essentially, I talked about how we saw the shift from 59% to the money coming in from rebates. So what that means from a future financial outlook and what that means for our organization is we have to be proactive and diversify how that revenue comes in to have a more equal split, and making sure that we are doing the work of having a more stable approach that's not so reliant on our partners. And I love that you guys are on the call today, and it means so much that y'all are willing to partner with us, but we have to be diligent and not rely on those partnerships, and we have to do the work on fundraising ourselves and kind of lifting ourselves up and continue to put money into the reserve in case these things continue to go on with the way that they have over the course of the last 3 years. Okay, so reserve, Supreme Court decision, mitigating risk, and then I had a question. Thank you. Any questions? I know I went through that very quickly, y'all. Oh, that's my favorite kind of presentation, when y'all don't have questions. They do that to me at work too, y'all. Means I did a great job. Okay, well, I'm gonna pass it back to you, but they said they ain't had no questions.
Alrighty, and if you do have questions, maybe you're still marinating on what she said. Like she said, it was a bit fast, but you know, we're trying to be respectful of everyone's time. Feel free to email her and she can provide additional information. So thank you, Therese, for going over that. We appreciate it. So one last thing before we let you go, we have our Empowering Visionaries gala that's going to be coming up this year. So we hope that you all can join us. It's going to be Friday, December 15th at the African American Museum of Dallas. You should have already received some information on the save the date in your newsletter. And right now we still have our nominations open for member awards. Those categories are Member of the Year, Emerging Leader of the Year, Entrepreneur of the Year, and Community Champion of the Year. So go in there, nominate those individuals you know that have been putting in work within the organization and deserves recognition. We love to celebrate them and let them know that we appreciate their service to the organization. So I know we're right here. Actually, we're over time. I do apologize. So if our meeting is concluding, if you have questions and want to stay on another few minutes, we're more than happy. If not, you are dismissed for the evening. And once again, we appreciate you all for joining us tonight, as well as being members and partners with National Black MBA Dallas Fort Worth Chapter. Thank you all and have a great evening.
Thanks, guys.